Hey, Tim, I've got a huge issue right now. I find that whenever I feel extremely stressed, usually triggered by thinking about the future or thinking about how life is only going to get so much harder as time goes on. Any advice for my situation? Well, firstly, Joe, appreciate you tuning in and being this sort of person that's truly wanting to change, being here with us today. In terms of what you want to do right now is mind your language. Your words have got a lot of power. And look at the linguistics in which you are expressing this situation. This is a huge issue right now. This is extremely strong. How many of you agree? If you say, I've got an extremely strong problem, you're probably not going to feel that empowered right now. Yes or no? But if you say, hey, I've got a little hurdle in my life, do you notice how that really makes you feel different? And how your body is more like inclined to actually take on that little hurdle? Your words have got power over you. And right now, the way you're describing the situation, you're describing it from a perspective of, I cannot change this. Hence why you're describing the situation to be bigger and greater than you. So remind yourself, this problem is not bigger and greater than you. You are much more empowered than what is. But anytime you do find yourself feeling like this, remind yourself, the problem is not the problem here. The problem is not the problem. It's not that thing that's becoming a problem. The problem is the size of you in relation to that problem. That's what you're really saying is a problem. What do I really mean? Imagine if you're a level 5 person in strength of emotional mastery and character, and you come across a level 10 problem. From a level 5 perspective, that's a huge problem, right? That's a huge problem. That you will describe as a serious problem. But let's say you grow yourself, transcend yourself, heal yourself, and you become level 15. Do you see how that same level problem is like a stroke a kitten problem? Ah, cute problem. Yes or no? Think about this. In short, it's not the problem that's the problem. It's size of you in relation to the problem. So you want to overcome a problem? You want to be unstoppable in your life? Grow yourself to the extent what phases you no longer does. Don't allow this problem to be bigger than it is. So what must you do to overcome this problem? Definitely not run away. You've got to begin to face what is. Because what you practice, you're becoming today. Think about this. Your personality today is what you have practiced the most. How you see yourself today is what you have been doing the most. A shy person shies away. Shy. Confident person is always stepping up, facing the issue. Confident. Is this making sense? So now you got to train yourself, because once you do, what was once a problem becomes easy for you. And one day you come across a new problem that doesn't feel easy. There you go. You got to level up again, right? So let me remind you this. Life is going to be full of more problems. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. I've got problems. You've got problems. Everyone's got problems. Some people say, Tim, once I have all the money, I have no problems. Any of you who've got a lot of money, you're thinking, what? I've got loads of problems, right? But because you've grown yourself whilst on the pursuit of more income, those problems are no longer problems for you. Making sense? So the aim of the game is about us strengthening our character, healing our mind, transcending us. That way we're able to face this journey called life. Because if you think about it, life is kind of like a chessboard in that we've got the black squares, the bad times, and we've got the white squares, the good times, right? But this chessboard in which we're stood on right now, and some of you are stood on a black square, some of you are stood on a white square, somebody unfortunately has chucked a sheet, neutral color, over this entire chessboard. So you can't actually see where are the black or white squares. Now, if I was to take a step forward right now, what are the chances of me hitting black or white? What are the chances? What are the odds? Let me know. It's 50-50. And you ever notice life is kind of like that? You take a step forward, one moment is great, the other moment doesn't seem that great. Life is going to be like that. So if it's 50-50, why don't we aim to get to a place where we don't just avoid these black squares because life is going to have more black squares. Why don't we get to a place where we can have really wonderful, terrible days? Why not get to a point where you can have good, bad days? During your worst day, you're smiling to yourself thinking, I'm having a time of my life right now. Because that's called living. True, true. What's the alternative? Hate half of your life because it was a black square. That's what most people do. True, true. We're like just hating it. We're like, I can't wait for it to subside, but it's going to come back again. So let me remind you this. Life, think about this, has got polar opposites. Yes, the cold, the hot, the north, the south, masculine, feminine, good, bad. But not only does it have the opposites, it's equal and opposite. It's equal and opposite. What does that really mean? If it's 3 feet from the table to the floor, it must be 3 feet from the floor to the table. If it's 150 miles from London to Manchester, it must be 150 miles from Manchester to London. It cannot be any other way. It's a law. So what does that really mean? It means if you're going through something really, really bad in your life, there has to be something really, really good waiting for you when you work through that. If, however, right now you're going through a little baby problem, something really not that bad, then you'll notice once you work through it, you go through something good. A little bit. Are you getting this? So here's the great news. Provided you move forwards, provided you take a step forwards, and provided you endure this storm, the life's winds, you will work your way through it. And what's awaiting you is a wonderful, wonderful moment. Is this making sense? So remember, you are not shaped when life is perfect. You don't grow when you're sitting back on the beach sipping your margaritas. No, I'm sorry. You grow when you're tested. You grow during these moments. It's these moments, one day you'll be thanking yourself, wow, I'm so glad I showed up. It's this moment, one day, that individuals, when they're reading out your eulogy regarding you, will be talking about, saying, wow, did you see Joe, how strong he was despite the winds of life? He moved forwards. That's how you become an inspiration for you and your loved ones.